Is this a joke?
No.
That's a shame.
Not to scale, but
Is disappointing but not terribly surprising.
John draws better than that.
I wasn't offended as an American. I was offended as a comedian.
Fruit Magoos! What?
Level of cringy.
Eat 'em up and eat 'em ups!
No sale.
And it's never funny.
That you know and understand and love cereal.
And they are all valid criticisms. After all, it has no coherent plot, just some vague idea that powers through no matter how nonsensical things get. Absolutely no character work. Not even as a joke, just some caricature cameos by comedians and Seinfeld's friends.
We have split the atom of breakfast.
Oh, sure.
I watched the movie and overall I didn't find it funny, but I didn't dislike it either. I guess my expectations were really that low.
Yeah.
The movie was written and directed by Seinfeld, and honestly, his comedy isn't for everyone. Not everyone below the age of 40 at least.
Are you calling me old?
There are classic Seinfeldisms in this movie, for example.
Smile, because I can replace this whole act. My God.
I chuckled at that. Other than that, the other jokes land flat, and the worst part of it was Melissa McCarthy.
What?
I found her more annoying than Amy Schumer.
Hello, kids.
But even with all its gaping flaws, a movie like Unfrosted is not only welcomed, but needed in today's day and age. Don't worry, I'm not going all Chris Tuckman on you folks. Let me explain, but before that, a sub to the channel would be great. We're aiming for 500 subs. Now on to my unsolicited thoughts on Unfrosted. To start with, it was an original script. This wasn't taken from an existing IP or adapted from a book or a cartoon, and I'm happy that this piece of cinema exists. With studios throwing ungodly amounts of money at unnecessary sequels and spin-off of IPs that have long lost their creative juices, it's no surprise that they're still trying to shove these movies down our throats, and frankly speaking, I'm tired of it. Give us some original content. The people demand it. If this movie had directly gone to the theaters, I guess it would have had a better reception. As the older generation, Seinfeld's generation, who aren't watching too much Netflix would have understood all the references from the ancient years they grew up in.
You cut that shit out.
I got most, if not all those references. You could call me an old soul. It's easy to see why it didn't click with most of Netflix's viewers. It's dated. Simply put, it was a nostalgic, reference-rich movie for history buffs and boomers. Don't worry, I can rail on them freely because they ain't watching my videos. And if they are, calm down, they're just jokes. So it worked for me. I found it fun and engaging even though it adds nothing to the overall story going on. Plus, it has its positives. I enjoyed the choice of colors. Sure, at some point, it looks like an overproduced acid trip, but I think it's part of the aesthetic of the fictionalized town of Battle Creek. They went with a bright array of colors, possibly emulating the 50s and the 60s. Not everything has to be dark or grayish.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I'm a big fan of the dark, gritty aesthetic cinematography, but it's also refreshing to see a brightly colored film for a change. That's the first thing you notice, how bright and in your face it is. This movie also has a lot of Seinfeld's friends, comedians and actors alike. Surprisingly, no George, Elaine and Kramer. I thought they would show up. As an ultimate Seinfeld reference, they should have cast Louis-Dreyfus instead of Melissa McCarthy. I really didn't like her in this movie. As a New Girl fan, I was glad to see Schmitty in the film. Seinfeld even got Don Draper out of retirement for a cameo. Most people would consider this as random fan service, but it's not unexpected for a film set in the 60s to include our beloved Mad Men.
We'll never swim the English Channel and then drown in champagne.
No, I won't.
I don't think it had a big marketing budget as well, since I did not see many trailers flying around. I found out about this movie from Seinfeld's appearance on Jimmy Fallon.
It's all jokes. So many jokes, it's really funny.
Oh, sure.
Just a note, not that Seinfeld will watch this video.
I don't care. Why are you telling me this?
If Seinfeld is going to be writing another movie, and I believe he should team up with his buddy Larry David, since Larry is a fantastic writer and understands film comedy much better than Seinfeld. Overall, it's a sort of a parody with a charismatic cast being themselves. It was a refreshingly good time. I did not cringe at it and it didn't feel like a chore. I didn't find it appalling because I didn't take this movie as a cinematic classic, but rather a pastime movie that was expected to be a fun ride, which it was.
I wanted to send my kids to college. It's like $200 a year.
I can't rely on YouTube to promote a small channel like ours, so do share it with people who would be interested in topics that I discuss. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.